Hey everybody, it's Ingrid on Thursday at 12 o'clock. Usually I do my jelly printing demo these days on Thursdays, but since I'm still in Seattle, I am going to just show you how to make your own because that's what I'm able to do here. So I've gathered some things that you need. It's really just 3 ingredients. It's boiling water, 1.5 cups. It's gelatin. This is 7 packets. I can't remember what that actually translates to in terms of like if you've got the big tub, but measuring it. But you can look that up. And then I've got 2 of these, so I've got 12 ounces altogether of vegetable glycerin. I just found this at the local pharmacy. It can be a little tricky to source. Sometimes you have to go to a health food place. They don't sell it like Vons and Ralph's, but they do sell it at slightly better pharmacies, and they might have it at like Whole Foods or Sprouts, that sort of thing. Okay, so those are the ingredients. I've already prepped them because you didn't want to sit here watching me pour glycerin. And so you can find these recipes online really easily. So what I'm going to do is sprinkle the gelatin over the glycerin. If you throw it down all at once, chances are it will clump. It's going to clump anyway, but you can mitigate that by doing it in stages like this. And trying to get it all mixed in before you add the water. You might hear my husband whispering in the background because I'm not alone. Alright, this is it was worth taking this a little slowly because if you do it all at once, you'll end up stirring it for a long time trying to get the lumps out, and you might not get the lumps out, which is kind of disappointing in your final plate. The plate that I'm going to finish with, it's going to have Mars and divots and things that you won't get in a commercial plate, but that's part of its charm if you ask me. And this is really, for those of you out there who really, really enjoy making your own stuff. I'm going to be honest, the smell that's created by this process is a cross between dog vomit and cat pee, so it's not for the faint of heart. But, and I'm not joking, it really does smell that bad. Once I add the hot water, it's going to stink. I actually like the surface I get. It's a little spongier and a little gummier than a commercial plate, and I kind of like that. It works for me. So there's the gelatin and the glycerin mixed together. Now I'm going to add some hot water, and that's going to dissolve the gelatin. And it's going to get foamy, and I'll show you how to deal with that. I'm going to keep going with this until it doesn't feel gritty anymore. Let me know if you have any questions while I'm doing this. It's going to take a minute. And there's that smell. Wet dog. Actually, more wet dog than dog vomit, but still. Ugh. And if you feel like it's not dissolving enough, you can whack it into the microwave for 45 seconds. But mine has dissolved pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to pour it into a pan. This is going to make a fairly thick plate. If I wanted to, I could put it in even a thinner pan. I've got a couple pans that I got at like Tuesday morning maybe, that are nice and long and thin. And they make sort of jelly plates that are a nice size. This one's going to be thick. It's going to be square. It's 8 by 8. So I've taken some just some paper towel, and if this is going to be the top, depending on how flat the bottom of your pan is, you could flip it over and use that bottom. But if you are planning for this to be the surface you want to work on, then obviously these bubbles are problematic. So you want to just take this and you're just going to drag it across the top and use it to scoop off that foam. And you're going to do that a couple times. And again, I like, you know, the DIY, do it yourself, DIY aspect of this, in which you have little bumps and bubbles and things like that. It's kind of what helps prove you didn't buy it at Target, if you ask me. That's one of my beliefs. It's the mistakes that prove that a human did it. So for me, it's not a big deal if there's some of these things floating around on the top or on the edge. Like I actually have a jelly plate at home at the studio that has some bubbles on the edge, and it's kind of distinctive. It's always in my jelly print that those little bubble marks are there. So I did a pretty good job of getting that cleaned up. So believe it or not, that is it. It is literally 6 ounces of glycerin. 12 ounces, 2 6-ounce bottles. It is 7 of these, which I don't know how much is in one of these packages. So, you know, if you have the kind that you scoop, you'll have to look up what it equals. It's 1.5 cups of boiling water. You mix the gelatin into the glycerin. You stir it up, and then you want to do it slowly so you don't end up with lumps. Then you pour the hot water, the boiling water, onto your gelatin and glycerin mixture, and you stir until there's no longer grainy or cloudy, and then you pour it into your pan, whatever size pan you're using. Now I will tell you that even when it's finished, it'll be like really thick finger jello, but and it'll take a couple hours to set properly. But it will be meltable, and that's good and bad. The good is that if, say, you break your plate somehow, it rips, or you end up with something on it you don't like, cut it up into bits, throw it in a bowl, microwave it till it's liquid, and then recast it in your pan. That's one of the great things about making your own. The bad thing is if you put it in a hot car and forget about it, it will melt, and when you take off, it'll slosh over the side and onto your seats. And I speak from somebody's experience. So just be aware that it is volatile that way. But if you're kind of, if you're into doing things for yourself, and if you don't want to spend $20, like this would make a fairly sizable plate, then this is a very affordable way to make yourself nice big ones without spending the $20, $30, $40 it costs to buy a commercial one. All right, so I know that was short and sweet for today, but I am still in Seattle until tonight, and then I'll be back to showing you actual technique on next Thursday. And tomorrow I will be back in time to do my art journaling demo, so I hope you check that out. And don't forget, you can come and actually drop in at the store now, Friday and Saturday, 11 to 12. If you still want a curbside, you can order online, craftinessonlineshop.com. And if you want to make an appointment, you can check out craftinessonline.com and make a shopping appointment for some other day of the week. All right, everybody, thanks for joining in. Stay well and craft on.